Can you believe this? Can you believe this? I finally finished this book. Finally. If you're following me on my Spanish account, my personal brand at Jules Bellot, you know that I've been trying to read this book for the last months. I don't know how long, but it's been a while. I bought this book in Chile last year, actually like in June or something last year. It's completely in Spanish. If you know, you know. When in Chile, you might not find even English books. Like in my case, I was desperately trying to find English books last year and I could not. So we just went with Spanish. I got a couple of Robert T. Kiyosaki's books. And since it's in Spanish, it just took me forever because I do have to say, of course, like some phrases, some words, the concept I kind of like understood, but I just really wanted to make sure that I'm reading it like poco a poco, just really step by step, so I also understand everything that it's saying, and I'm not just like reading it for it to be read. Like, no, I wanted to understand it. I wanted to study this. So it took me a couple of months, let's put it that way. And I finally finished it. And I thought, what better way to process what I've been reading by sharing some of the key thoughts of what he was or what he's writing about with you guys on here on the channel. So I'm super excited, super grateful for you being here. If you're new here, new to YouTube, new to my channel, then please subscribe, leave a like, send this episode or this video to a friend, to someone who can also benefit from what I'm sharing. And if you are listening, watching on Apple Podcast or Spotify, then also feel free to leave a 5-star review, as this really would help me to grow the show. Okay, let's speak about this book, shall we? So, Rich Dad, Poor Dad is basically another book or the first book, I think, of Robert T. Kiyosaki that is also on my shelf because I got it in English here in Germany, and it's a book I'm going to read for sure now, starting from today, I guess. But this one, it's called El Cuadrante del Flujo de Dinero. Basically, the cash flow. How do you say it in English? I'm going to leave right here how the book is called in English, or somewhere here on the screen. But it's basically like a further explanation of what he talks about in Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I think I did it wrong, because you're supposed to start with the Rich Dad, Poor Dad and then go and read all his other books. I've done it in reverse, but I don't really care. I just know that from what I've read, I love it. I love his other videos. I also have here another video that I'm going to link where I'm speaking about entrepreneurs and why it's so important to have a good team of entrepreneurs, or does he say? More important than money is the team of an entrepreneur. So that's also a book that he wrote. And so I know him by now, his thoughts, his beliefs, from his book, obviously. I don't know him in person, but he's so inspiring. And I think every young entrepreneur, if you're a content creator, if you are someone who's into social media or not into social media at all, but you're just someone who wants to improve their money mindset, maybe have a business on their own, make passive income, you like this type of girly, then really I highly encourage you to read this book, because it's just, or any of his books, to be honest, because it's so good. He basically gives you, in this book in particular, he gives you an overview of the different 4 quadrants, I guess, of, a person. You could be an employee, an auto employee, a business owner. That's when you then have already some other employees, you hire someone in your business, or an investor. And of course, you can be one or of many. You can be an investor, but also a business owner, and so on. But he basically just wants you to achieve financial freedom by giving certain tips and, explaining también I'm speaking Spanish right now. What's going on in my English episode? Brains. So he's basically also explaining how to get from one point to another, from being an employee full time, working a 9 to 5, to then, for example, like being able to purchase your first investment property, like those type of things. And I know most of you maybe listening are, I don't know, in your early 20s or in your 20s. Like me, I'm 25 right now. And you're like, why would I bother? Like, why would I even care to listen to something like that or watch something like that? It's because at some point in life, and this happened to me now turning 25, I really feel like from 24 to 25, I like got into this crisis of like, oh, I'm growing up. Like, this is real. This is adulthood. Like, you will understand that you're responsible for yourself and for your finances, and that there's no one going to save you but you. There's not, no one. Like, even mommy and daddy at one point are not going to save you or not going to support you or not going to help you or whatever. So you are responsible for yourself. And the earlier you realize that, and the earlier you also realize, or the sooner, let's say, the sooner you realize that with being responsible, becoming or having this desire of becoming financially free, you also need to educate yourself when it comes to finances. And that is what Kiyosaki is really known for, like financial education and helping you understand the system also, because we grow up and we think, oh, taxes are horrible and this is bad and here, but like, are you really understanding the system? Are you understanding how it works? Are you understanding that as a business owner, with multiple streams of income and, I don't know, $1 million company, you also have, like, there are certain benefits. You can reduce tax in some form or some way. I mean, you just need to know, you need to educate yourself. And that is a big, big process of now my mid 20s, what I'm doing. I really want to educate myself on those topics. And what I said in the very beginning, I want to speak about also your mindset when it comes to entrepreneurship and your money mindset in particular when it comes to creating wealth or becoming, I don't want to say wealthier, but like just being open to receive for multiple streams of income is really simply that. Like, you need to buy, of course, educating yourself, going out, making it happen, but you also need to adapt this mindset of a successful person, the mindset of a business owner, someone who's really, really killing it at what they do. And that is what he's explaining so well. And I just loved the last few pages where he was like saying this exercise of your 6 people around you define your future. Like, who are you around? Who are you surrounded by? This defines your future. Are you surrounded by people who talk negatively about money, about what you're doing, about your dreams of being a content creator or an online business owner or a property, having different properties? Are you surrounded by people who say all the time how the rich just get richer and that's like unfair and all those things? Or do you surround yourself with people who think like you, who act like you, who are inspiring you, motivating you? And I know it can be so difficult. Believe me, I truly know it can be so difficult if you are growing up and maybe you're still living with your family. It can be so difficult to go your own way and to listen to those positive affirmations and to tap and affirm yourself, affirm every single day that you are meant to achieve great things and that you are different and then that you can do it and you can achieve it. It's so difficult if your surroundings are not on the same vibe or in the same frequency, or have a different mindset, or do not understand financial education, or do not understand how the mind and the mindset in general works, like how important the mindset is. However, you always have the choice to back off a bit, to be in your own zone, to become cold, quote unquote, and not not interact with them as much, for example, or not go to every single, let's say, family meeting. If in your case, it's the family. It can also be friends. And then it's for you a responsible decision to be like, well, I love them. They're my friends. I've been knowing them for years, but maybe I'm not going to share my aspirations with them anymore. Maybe I'm not going to share my big, juicy business goals with them anymore, or my income goal, or my plan for the next 3 to 5 years. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm just going to keep it for myself and share it with my journal, or share it with the person who truly understands me, who's truly there for me, who just uplifts me and encourages me to go after my dreams. Amen. I feel like this is all I have to say. This is really all I have to say. Go grab this book if you want to learn more about the different personalities. Also, how is someone thinking who's stuck in a 9 to 5? Well, I don't want to say stuck in a 9 to 5, because there are obviously a lot of people who love their 9 to 5 job. But how is someone thinking who is maybe, working for someone else? And how is someone thinking who has their own business? There are two different mentalities, which is nothing is wrong and nothing is bad, but it's just two different mindsets, two different types of persons. Also, not everyone can work for themselves, and not everyone can work for someone else as well. So I just love it. I love all of his books. If you stumble across Robert T. Kiyosaki, go grab it, read it. It's a good read. If you take 5 or 6 months to read it, it doesn't matter. At least you read it. And I just am so grateful for you to be here on this channel, to support, to leave a like, comment, and to share this episode with a friend or a family member or someone who can benefit from what I'm sharing. Thank you so much for being here. I see you next week. Bye.